but I think he's just not good enough to play for Arsenal Football Club. That's what it is. I haven't seen since the time he's been there. Arsenal fans, if you're dieting us, what's he done?
But Arteta has his non-negotiables. He has his non-negotiables. If you're not going to do exactly what I need you to do, it's a bit like Pep like that, but he has a structure and a framework. And if he brings someone in and he thinks, I can teach them, maybe he's seeing something that we can't see, we haven't got access to, which is Norgaard isn't as mouldable and able to fit into Arteta's structure the way he would like.
But that's down to Arteta. Right, guys, Arsenal Weekly News. We're going to kick it off with Ethan Nwaneri. There's a lot of talk about him recently in regards to why this fantastic youngling coming out of the Arsenal Academy, who's proved he can be a fantastic addition to your squad. Why is he not getting minutes? This is a big talking point. What's your view on that?
Firstly, I love Nwaneri. You know I'm a big fan. He's a great kid. We got him signed up on a new contract. I reckon the reason why Nwaneri's not getting the minutes is Arteta doesn't trust him, not from an offensive point of view, but from a defensive one. You know what it takes. Yeah, bro. Yeah, like you know what it takes. I think I've seen some stuff of him being accused of like anytime he loses the ball, right, he's walking back and whatever else rather than running. To get into this Arsenal team, you need to defend. Bro, even Eze, everyone, you're asked to defend. There's no luxuries. We can't afford any passengers. And I think Nwaneri is not getting his chance because I think Arteta doesn't trust him defensively. Plus, there's a lot of competition in the squad anyway in terms of where he plays.
Well,
he'd like to play that number 10.
Doesn't that mean like coach the guy to be more defensive? Tell him if you're good enough to play in the first team, you need to track back. You need to help the rest of the team. Why can't Arteta just manage him like that? Because if Nwaneri's not going to listen, sell him. Chelsea wanted him last season, but Arsenal straight away block any type of interest. If you're not going to play him, you can't manage the player and tell him, hey, you need to play for the team rather than yourself. Sell him.
Yeah.
No?
You know the other thing, Mark? Yeah, I think that's a fair point. The other thing, though, it's also competition as well. Odegaard started the season, then he went down injured, and Eze's then gone in the middle and really he had a hat-trick against Spurs, obviously, but he also scored the winner against Palace, and people are like, right, we need to give him a run of games. And we were winning games. So, we went on a run of 18 games without losing before Villa. We won 15 of them, and that was with a combination of Eze in the middle, and then you got Odegaard there. And then obviously Saka, when he came back from injury, he needed minutes, so he was playing on the right. So sometimes maybe, we will see more of Nwaneri. It's still early in the season. We're only 20 games into a potentially 60-game season. Maybe we'll see more of him. Who knows?
I mean, look, in terms of like a backup to Saka, now that Madueke's fit, yeah. Well, firstly, I would prefer Nwaneri over Madueke. Madueke, bro, watch it very quickly, geezer. I need to get your opinion on him because he hasn't done almost nothing. And this is what Chelsea fans, including myself, warned you about. We warned you. You're going to see some glimpses. And then Arsenal fans are going to go, yeah, Madueke, he looks bright. He looks special. He's a great addition. Okay, he's had a little bit of time on the sidelines, but every time he's played, bro, he has these little sparks, but he does nothing. He might have had a pre-assist, but I don't rate him. I want to know what you think, because I'm talking about this because Nwaneri should be a backup to Saka straight away. And it still doesn't explain to me why, you're interchanging your left side so much. Why can't you give him a shot? I get it. He doesn't run back.
Yeah, but also don't forget Nwaneri's preferred position. He's more of a number 10. He's not a direct replacement for Saka. He's more of a kind of that number 10, number 8 progression, right?
He's never really going to get there.
He comes. Well, that's the point, right? So if Madueke's offering you that pace and electricity on the wings, and whichever way you slice it, he could be a more like-for-like replacement for Saka. Then again, it's difficult to then go, well, Madueke's fit.
Nwaneri can play on the wings, though. He has played on the wings.
He can, but doesn't mean that he should. That's the other thing.
Would you prioritize Nwaneri over Madueke in terms of a pecking order?
And they're two different types of players. Nwaneri can unlock a defence. Nwaneri, for me, if you're asking me, I think he's a better number 10 than he is on the right. I think Madueke is better on the right at the moment than Nwaneri, just. And I think Nwaneri is 100 times better than a number 10 than Madueke, right? Yeah.
What gives you the right to say that? What's Madueke done to show you that he should be ahead of Nwaneri, even on the right? I get it, it's not his preferred position, Nwaneri. What's Madueke done?
Well, he's done just about enough in terms of going forwards for me to say I don't want to replace him for Nwaneri on the right. Because he goes... Here's the thing with Madueke. He does front his man up. He does take his man on. And people say, oh, well, there's no end product at the moment and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's come back from injury. He was pretty electric, I thought, before injury in terms of taking his man on. And actually, with our flanks, I want our players to take mans on, front them up. And I think Madueke does that. Look, there's a live argument there, but I just don't think Nwaneri's the right guy to replace Madueke, if that makes sense.
Guys, let us know in the comments down below. Do you agree with Neil or do you agree with me? I think you need to give Nwaneri more of a shot. And I think it's down to Arteta. If he's not happy with him, playing a team game, then instill that in him. You're not just a manager, Arteta, you're a coach.
And also, where do you play him? Just where do you play him as well? Like, where do you play Nwaneri? Because Saka's playing, isn't he? Saka's playing, so then you're going to have to play him on the left.
That's the problem that we've been talking about, Neil. We've been talking about your injuries and how much Arteta is running his players into the ground. It's not a first 11 team. It's a squad team. A game against Wolves. Why? You're so confident you're going to win. No, I agree. You should be confident. You want to rest Deckers? That's fine. That's understandable. You can also rest
Madueke
Saka and play Nwaneri or play Madueke.
Well, yeah, I guess he could, but then Saka's all right. I mean, I don't know. You're basically saying rest Saka for Nwaneri. Look, we'll see. But at the moment, so far, Nwaneri's not been able to get into the team because on the left, you've got Trossard, you've got Martinelli scoring goals, you've got Eze that's played there, you've got Madueke as an option. And on the right, you've got Saka, you've got to displace him. And then in the middle, you've got to displace Eze and Odegaard. It's very tough.
Chelsea will take Nwaneri. You know what, Arteta? Sell him to us. We'll make the full use out of this guy because I'm a big fan of Nwaneri. Right. Fair enough. Moving on. Next point. Gabriel Jesus has not been registered for the Champions League phase.
This is mental.
How's it mental? How's it mental?
This must be a mistake. Why wouldn't you register him when you can?
Because these guys never fit.
Yeah, but he's fit now. Why wouldn't you? And obviously, Mosquera going down. Surely you register him, right? Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus is a forward.
Yeah, he is, but you've got space in the squad now. Because Mosquera's injury means you've actually got an extra space in the squad, right? Why wouldn't you? But because Saliba, Gabby, they're all registered. So why wouldn't you register Jesus? I don't get it. There's no other centre back you're going to bring in to register instead of Mosquera. So why wouldn't you register? It just sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? Why wouldn't you register Jesus if he's fit?
Do you know why I sound like that? I sounded like that? It's because even though you just told me he's fit, I think Gabriel Jesus is rubbish for Arsenal. He'll have one game where he scores a brace or scores a hat-trick, and Arsenal fans, he's back. The next game, he does nothing. I get it. Maybe, yeah, you're right, in the sense that Mosquera's down. There's an extra slot available.
Do you think he offers something different to what we've got, though? When you look at our front line and you look at Gyökeres, Havertz, Merino, do you think Jesus offers something different? Whether you rate him or not, do you think he's a different type of player?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a mistake, Mark, to be honest. I don't know if they've just overlooked it. He might get registered tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know too much about it, other than the fact that you've just said it. I just think it sounds a bit mad off the top of my head. But guys, I reckon there's people watching this screaming at us, by the way, Mark, saying, this is the reason why you two don't know. Let us know in the comments. I don't know, but it sounds to me a bit mad if he's fit to not register. He's offers something different.
All right, he's fit, but I think he's just not good enough to play for Arsenal Football Club. That's what it is. Like, I haven't seen, since the time he's been there, Arsenal fans, if you're dieting us, what's he done? Apart from score in one game, a couple of goals in one game out of like 30, 40 games, and he gets injured. Unreliable. You're going to take out that slot. What happens? It looks like he gets injured regularly. You want to give up a Champions League spot for someone that could get injured in the next couple of weeks. That's not even far-fetched.
Yeah, but now that there is a spot, it's either you whack him in or you just have no one. You might as well just have him, right?
All right. Let us know in the comments down below, guys. Neil would have him. I guess I would have him as well. You make a good point. Does it offer something different? He does. Right. Transfer news. Arsenal transfer news. This one's exciting. Okay. The Quintero twins. Edwin and Holger, and they come from the Ecuadorian, and they come from the same academy or the same area. Correct me which one I'm right and wrong about, but he comes from Ecuador, the same academy as Moises Caicedo. This is very interesting. I like it when twins arrive. Who was the last twins that we had? We had Manchester United Rafael and Donatello. Yeah, the Power Rangers or the Turtles or whatever. But this one, I mean, Hincapié is also from Ecuador. They are producing some wicked players, potentially world class. What do you think of the signing of the Quintero twins?
It's exciting. It's good. We have this strategy where we do look, and Arsenal and Chelsea have similar strategies where they will sign up, youngsters, and I think they'll be eligible for us in 2027, which is great. And it's just an eye on the future. I think it's always super important. Now, the good thing about this is they both come from the same academy, as you mentioned, as Caicedo, and Hincapié was also part of that academy. So not only are they from the same area, that academy has produced Caicedo. It's produced Hincapié, who's done well over in Germany and is starting to do some good stuff for us. So time will tell. It's exciting, but I do like what Arsenal, and to be fair, Chelsea do this as well, right? We're both known for making sure we keep an eye on the future of our football clubs, respectively, and keeping an eye on future talent. I don't know too much beyond them, but there's a lot of excitement about them. They're apparently quite quick and fairly skillful, and they're not afraid to take a man on.
Yeah, they're both attacking
sound
players.
A bit like, sound familiar? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's see. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of these exciting kids out, like Max Dowman, Esteval. I don't know if these guys are going to be as good as that, but yeah, if they've scouted it, I do trust our scouting talent.
I said to you, I would put Max Dowman, a bloody 14, 15-year-old, ahead of Madueke, ahead of Nwaneri. Well, does that sound crazy to you?
He's so good, isn't he?
He's
Mighty
so
Max,
good.
He's so good.
I was watching the interview of Gabby, your defender, best defender in the world. And there was an interview with him, and he was like, who's the most skillful? And he goes, Odegaard. Oh, and as well, Max. And the presenter was like, well, Max Dowman, yeah? The 15-year-old. He is mad skillful. Now, when you have a Brazilian saying that about an English academy player at Arsenal, you have to take note. And it's backed by, his few appearances here and there. I would have him instead of Madueke. I would start him instead of Nwaneri, and I'll give him a run of games, especially in the type of games where you're supposed to win. But what do you think? Before, I do want to know, would you have him start and give him a run of games?
Look, he's great,
or
right?
If you're
looking at him, from a talent perspective, there's no questions. There's zero questions from me. The kid is electric. He's bright spark. But I'm also a big fan of managing youth properly as well. He is only 15. He's got to do his GCSE still, isn't he? I think. Look, if you're good enough, you're old enough. He's going to be one for the future. I think we're managing him perfectly fine at the moment. I don't think we're looking at our squad and thinking, oh my God, you know what we're missing right now? We need Max Dowman, needs more minutes. I think we're managing him perfectly well. He's a youngster, still in school. Like, look, we'll manage him through correctly, but he definitely looks like he's going to be incredible.
Fair enough. All right, we're looking at. I want to see more of Max Dowman. Moving on, your next transfer-related news: Rodrigo Mendoza from Elche. He's a Spanish under-21. He's a central midfielder who can also play on the right and attacking. He's closely monitored by Arsenal scouts, and they are looking to make a 17.5 million fee for this guy, and that is seen as a potential bargain. And he's been courted by Real Madrid and Manchester City. And if you're having big boys like this, He's a creative number 8. Yeah, if you're having big teams like this, look at this guy. He's definitely one to watch. What's your thoughts about this?
Now, this is exciting. He's not the only centre mid that we're looking at as well. So this is quite interesting. And I think it says a lot about what we're looking to do in the near future. This could be a really, really exciting signing. What's good about him? Well, you just said it, dude. He's strong. He's, ball progression is a big thing for him. He's a creative number 8. He's strong in terms of stature as well. It's no shock to me that we're looking at this, and I think we're going to go into it in a bit more detail. But yeah, he's not the only centre mid. I'm excited by it, but it clearly shows that we're in the market for a centre mid because we're linked to another as well.
Yeah, you are. And you're actually linked to the next transfer news is Jean-Mattéo Bahoya from Frankfurt. He's a French under-21 international playing in Germany. He's a winger, right-footed, but he likes to play on the left, which means he likes to cut in. And this interest apparently is more concrete for a summer move and not a January. And also, I've already informed Frankfurt that they want this guy and they're demanding a fee of £61.2 million, not euros. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for a lot of excitement. This kid is going to put everyone on the left in our squad on notice. And I mean everyone, geez. Trossard has signed a new contract. He's delivering. Martinelli's scoring his goals, but he's not generally seen as a starter now. You've got Madueke as an option that plays on the left and can play on the right when Saka's out. But this kid is seen to be more electric. Arsenal fans might say, well, we're covered in the left wing department. Yeah, we might be, but can we improve it? Well, this kid is seen as a potential improvement. He is electric. As you said, he's a right-footed player, likes to cut inside from the left. And this one, I think, will probably get over the line in the summer. Now, it's interesting to see, well, we've got that much talent on the left wing. Do we really need to bolster it? Well, yeah, if it can be improved. And this is the whole thing about Arteta, competition for places, Mark. Our squad is deep in every position. And this guy, don't be surprised if, in a year or year and 18 months' time, whatever, if we do end up getting this guy, that he actually starts ahead of your Trossards, ahead of your Martinellis, ahead of your Noni Maduekes, who I know, massively love. So, look, time will tell, but yeah, this is an interesting signing, and this will, Martinelli's ears will definitely perk up, and Trossard will also be looking at this thinking, shit, another one? But that's good for us. It's good for Arsenal.
I mean, he may be thinking that. He may have thought that about Eze coming in, and he's still, in a way, I wouldn't say starts ahead of him, but he definitely takes the left spot. Yeah. So I don't think Trossard really needs to worry about, because I think he's just such a wicked impact player. Not even an impact player, a starter. I don't see him that much in throughout the games, but he always does something for the team, an assist, a pre-assist, a goal. So I don't think Trossard really needs to be worried, unless, Kylian Mbappe's on his way to Arsenal, and that'll be a different story. This one's very interesting. This next piece of transfer news is Ayoub Bouaddi, an 18-year-old from Lille. Now, over the past couple of months, this guy's name has been flung around in the transfer realm, and really between Arsenal and Chelsea, it looks like they're battling for this guy, and it also looks like PSG are tracking him. He signed a new deal until 2029, which means Lille, which is the club he currently plays for, they are going to demand in excess of 50 million euros. Why is this guy, Geezer, on the lips of everyone at the moment, and why does everyone want to sign this special player?
Another centre mid. Look at his physical profile. He's young,
6'1",
which means he's moldable. He's 6 foot plus. He carries the ball well. He's technically gifted, but again, ball progression. Look at Arsenal. Look at our number 8. Look at like a Rice character. Carries the ball progression. These are big things for our CMs, yeah? And there's a reason why we're not just looking at him, but we're Arsenal fans, if you have any doubt or had any doubt, this should solidify that we are in the market for a centre mid, and I think this January, because this kid fits that profile. He fits that profile of a ball carrier, strong, really, really good in the middle of the park. Same as Mendoza, who you brought up a few minutes ago, right? And why? The question is why. Look, Bouaddi, yeah, he looks exciting. He looks like he could be a real talent mark, and that's why the big boys are after him. And
What's
there's a
your
lot
reason
of noise
why?
about him.
Because it looks like your midfield is a little bit not packed out, but it looks fairly complete. Why are they looking for a new midfielder in January? Let the people know.
Great question. That is the right question, Mark. Why? Because beyond Rice and Zubimendi, who have we got? We lost Partey and Jorginho, right? We brought in a like for Partey. We got in Zubimendi. He's playing a lot of minutes and he's really settled in nice. He's doing the dirty work and also doing some really, really good clean work that sometimes goes a bit unnoticed, in my opinion, outside of Arsenal fans. Then you've got Declan Rice. But you've also got Norgaard, who we brought in, right? Norgaard was brought in. Jorginho left the club. How many times have you seen Norgaard take the pitch under Arteta, Mark?
None.
How many times have you seen him play?
No.
He clearly doesn't fancy Norgaard. Now, Norgaard's no mug. He was captain of Brentford last season, right? He's a proper player, but for some reason Arteta doesn't fancy him, which is why we're seeing Rice and Zubimendi play as much as they're playing. Let me hit you with a stat here. Compared to all the other midfielders, right, in the league, at the top teams, you've got Caicedos, your Enzos, your Nikos, your Reinders, Gravenberch, McAllister. Well, McAllister's fallen off a cliff. Rice and Zubimendi have played more minutes than all of them bar Enzo Fernandez. And in that position, a like for like, Zubimendi, Caicedo, or Rice, Rice and a Reinders, whoever, these guys have played and are on track for over 3,000 minutes this season. What does that mean, Mark? We are having to rely on Rice and Zubimendi a hell of a lot. Or rather, Arteta is relying on Rice and Zubimendi pretty much every game. They're playing pretty much every minute of every game. That is not sustainable. Rodri himself, you know the most number of minutes he's played in a season in any campaign? Less than 3,000. These guys are on track for more than 3,000. That is a big, big, big point that should not be overlooked. I don't know how sustainable it is. I remember when you said a couple of weeks ago, oh, what if Rice get injured and whatever? I'm like, this guy, man, with his what if scenarios, Rice is a...
It's true.
But, yeah, there's a point here. Are we going to end up running these guys into the ground? Basically, is it sustainable for Rice and Zubimendi to play every game for the rest of the season? Probably not, right? So we need some strength in depth because for whatever reason, Arteta doesn't fancy Norgaard. Otherwise, we would have seen him. He must not fancy him, right?
That's the thing with Arteta. He gets a lot of players. Some of the players that he brings in, he has faith in them, hence why he brings them in. A Raheem Sterling, a Norgaard, Christian Norgaard. He doesn't play them. I think he probably needs to do a little bit more research before getting excited about taking certain players, because now you're bringing... It's true. You're bringing the call.
The caveat to that, Mark, sorry to cut across you, but the caveat for that is Arteta sees players from a distance and goes, you know what, I reckon I can teach them to fit my structure. But Arteta has his non-negotiables. He has his non-negotiables. If you're not going to do exactly what I need you to do, it's a bit like Pep like that, but he has a structure and a framework. And if he brings someone in and he thinks, I can teach them. Sometimes, Mark, it's like a job. You interview someone, you pressure test them, you think, you know what? I reckon I'm going to hire the right person here. But when you hire them, that's when you really get to know them in the training, in the build-up and behind the scenes and all of that. And that's what Arteta's seeing with these guys. Maybe he's seeing something that we can't see, we haven't got access to, which is Norgaard isn't as moldable and able to fit into Arteta's structure the way he would like.
But that's
so
down
now
to
he's back
Arteta.
in the market.
That's down to
most
Arteta.
Of his buys,
bro,
but you're never going to have success on every buy, are you?
Bro. Yeah, but it's
good.
happening. It's happening quite a lot. You're bringing in players he's not going to be using. I agree. When you're talking to a player, hey, I want you to come to Arsenal. These are my non-negotiables. This is what you're going to have to do to break into the team. It feels like he's not doing that. Look at Pep Guardiola when he hired Haaland. He goes to Haaland. You're going to be the number 9. You're going to score the most amount of goals. You're going to help us win everything. But understand, Haaland, yeah, you're not going to touch the ball hardly ever. You have to be, when you come to Man City, this is something you have to accept. But in return, you will have the biggest trophy cabinet out there. This I guarantee. Just listen to what I say. Why is Mikel Arteta not doing that? Because it looks like he's not. He's getting a lot of play.
Come on.
Bro, that's true.
This isn't
though.
the right narrative.
You're getting players, you're not even using them. As you just said, Norgaard hasn't even started or played anything.
Yeah, but
he was the captain of Brentford.
But Pep also buys players that doesn't work out, right? It happens. Like, we saw this. Like it happens. There's a number of Pep players. And players that have come out that have played under Pep, they're like, don't really buy into Pep. Doesn't make Pep any less of a coach. I'm not comparing Pep to Arteta. What I am saying, though, is that Arteta's got it right most of the time. Everyone is getting game time that he's brought in, apart from Norgaard. Norgaard's an odd one. It's not like he's the norm. It's like he's the only one that you're like, well, there's competition for places, but there's also times when he could have brought Norgaard on and he hasn't. And he's the only one that I've gone, why the fuck haven't you brought Norgaard on? Sunderland away. Why didn't you bring Norgaard on? We needed fresh legs. But everyone else is getting game time. He trusts Hincapié. He trusts Mosquera that he brought in. He trusts Madueke, rightly or wrongly. He trusts Zubimendi. He's brought him in. I think more often than not, Arteta's happy with his... You've got to say Arteta does give game time to pretty much all his signings, apart from Norgaard. Norgaard just seems a bit odd. You're going to get those, aren't you?
Fair enough. Arsenal fans, tell us what you think. Which one of these potentials are you looking to see? Are you looking forward to seeing these attacking Ecuadorian twins? Are you looking to see this Ayoub Bouaddi? He's the one I'm looking forward to. Hopefully Chelsea gets him. I'll love that. And why do you think Mikel Arteta is not playing Norgaard? Does he miss out? Does it mean that, Mikel Arteta is a good manager, just a shit coach? Yeah. For me, that's what it seems like.
Not.
I had to do it. Let's know in the comments down below and to see our next video, guys. Thank you for watching. Click this video right here. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for your time.